Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the final Monday of the final week of the final moment of our, well, the first part of our 2016 year. It's going to be the end of the spring split here today, folks. We've got North America and Europe coming at you. My name, of course, is F. And this is Anatoly.
How you doing?
Not too bad, actually.
Got a good match right now.
Yeah, we've had a wonderful split. Kind of nice looking back on it. All of the ups and downs, looking at stories like Hunger for More, and then even looking at stories like Eager, who we're going to see play today. Eager was on against Denial. They're a team that people had a lot of questions about. I don't think people felt any certain way, whether it was positive or negative. Everybody was sort of cut down the middle, and then, well, we've seen what they've been able to do.
They've been playing really lights out. Going into the season, I had second doubts about Eager, but they've been playing really consistently, especially the second half of the season. And Denial also, once they got Mask in their roster, have been playing very well as well. These two teams are very evenly matched. Last time they faced, they did split.
Yeah, these guys look very strong in Denial, even more so as the season comes to a close. And one of the big things about this upcoming match is that Eager are actually looking for a 2-0 here. Right now, Eager sit at number 3. They're guaranteed DreamHack, but they're not guaranteed number 3. Should Eager win 2 matches in a row here above Denial, they'll actually move up above Soar.
Yes, because they do have the head-to-head against Soar, winning 3 out of the 4 games, so that puts them at second seed if they do find those 2 wins against Denial. Denial are locked in currently at 5th. They can't bump up to 4th, and they can't go down to 6th either.
You know, it's going to be rough, too, because as we said, Denial heading into especially the latter half of the season, have looked really, really strong.
They did, especially with Mask. He's more of a speed buff player. Ever since the speed buff acquisition came back into the jungle, he's been playing lights out, also diversifying his god pool as well every now and then. And just the 3v3 that Denial has, Shadowq in the front line as well, coordinating his squad has just been very solid for Denial.
It's been a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to see these guys really grow and turn into something different and become a more competent team. Now, before we get into match number 1, I do want to say you've heard us up here talking about livebnfd.com with some Smite stuff, but there's actually a flash sale going on right now just for the first matchup when we watch Eager versus Denial today. If you go hit up livebnfd.com, you get shirts for 10 beans, and $12 gets you a hat as well. So you can go ahead and save a couple of bucks there.
Some really nice hats on that side, but they're always missing the pizza rolls. Pecky's just kind of slacking on that.
That's what I'm saying. They have beans or something like that. I'm not too sure, but you can get hats, pins, shirts, hoodies. I think they even got socks. So a whole bunch of things going on there as far as that's concerned. LiveBNFD.com. There's a flash sale going on now. That's nice. Let's get into the game. Eager v Denial. Picks and bans coming up to you right about now. And on the left-hand side, you see Eager repping the blue, the order, the first pick, and the first ban.
It's going to be interesting to see the style that Eager will try to implement here, or whether or not Denial are trying to adapt to the style that Eager is known for. And that style is basically the way djpernicus plays around the best, the way they roam together throughout the jungle has just been such a staple for Eager.
Denial, on the other hand, they really find a lot of their strength in not necessarily the mid lane, although Xenotronics recently has been turning up. A lot of their strength traditionally comes out of Benji and Vetium, I would say. But as I mentioned, the last week or so, Xenotronics has been looking very hot.
The way you mentioned Benji, Eager actually tried to implement a strategy in their last set where they kind of camped Benji the first game specifically, where they tried to shut him down earlier on, but it didn't matter because Denial was still able to find the win throughout that game.
Eager has banned Thor and Naja virtually every single time we've seen them play. Denial ban out Raijin away from TheBest and Serket away from djpernicus, leaving Susano open.
Susano has a lot of mobility every time his cooldowns are down. He will get that movement speed bonus throughout the jungle, going from speed buff to the mid harpies. It's going to allow djpernicus to rotate between middle and solo lane whenever he wants to.
And just having that movement speed allows him to, like you said, be all over the place, and Denial's going to try and stop that a little bit by way of the ultimate coming out of Janus, giving a lot of momentum or movement to the team, I should say.
Not only that, there's also going to be the threshold, which will give you more mobility for the rest of your team specifically. So it's good to match mobility with the mobility, and to counteract that, Eager's going to try to get the early game pressure in the mid lane. Isis, Purple Pot with the Soul Stone as well is going to do a lot of damage.
Coupled with the Apollo on the side of Zapman, a lot of mobility for Team Eager to sort of avoid what Janus has as far as control of the map is concerned. Denial will pick one more choice here. We'll see where they go. And it will be right to the jungle. Nemesis will be the selection for Mask.
It's a good idea to have the Nemesis in this position right now. The way a lot of teams have been experimenting with Nemesis, they're able to find one target that they want to throughout the game, focus that target and all in that target, and even if they don't necessarily find the kill, they're going to force that target out of the team fight.
Who do you think the target's going to be so far? We've got 3 out of 5 selected.
I would say that the Isis would be an easy target since she has no escapes necessarily. She does get increased movement speed and immune to the roots during her wing gust, but other than that, she's a sitting duck.
Team Eager right now, as far as the bans are concerned, focusing on the Hunter. You can see the on her knocked out, so Vetium won't be able to have that Hunter available to him.
There's a lot of options for him regardless. He loves every single Hunter, and he's very efficient with every single Hunter.
So I was guessing the Ho-Yi ban simply because Eager, right now they have Apollo. By taking Ho-Yi and On-Her out, Ho-Yi and On-Her are 2 of the better hunters when it comes to just dueling 1v1. On-Her's passive and the Mark of the Golden Crow coming out of Ho-Yi make these 2 characters very adept at taking the 1v1 fight. Apollo's there, good at it as well. Artemis, how does she stack up against Apollo?
Right now, Denali are taking a page out of Enemy's book, picking up this Artemis in conjunction with the Janus as well. So more than likely going to see a very aggressive Artemis throughout the game, and then it's going to get bailed out by the portals from the Janus. And now Eager recognizing that, counterpicking it with the Odin, because obviously Artemis can't escape from that.
Snap, hard pick onto the Odin, and after some careful deliberation, the Cabrakan choice will be there as well. That'll likely be the, honestly, both of those can swap up. We'll likely see Divios on the Cabrakan, I would guess, but honestly, Odin and Cabrakan, it's up in the air who winds up support.
We've seen djpernicus play Cabrakan, well, at least I have seen djpernicus play Cabrakan in ranked a couple, actually last night specifically as well. So more than likely that could easily be on him. And to counteract that, Denali's going to put Osiris on Benji.
So a very interesting lineup here from Eager. You've got Susano, Odin, and Cabrakan. Now, we haven't seen much of Susano outside of the jungle. What can you tell us about Susano's ability to lane?
His laning phase in the solo lane is going to be doing a lot of damage, and it's very easy to hit the whole wave and hit the enemy god that's in your lane as well.
So it will be djpernicus on the Susano. Aror will take the Odin into the support role, and then we'll see Divios over there on the Cabrakan. So again, those last 2 choices, the Cabrakan and the Odin, very, very strong when it comes to dealing with Artemis, because she doesn't have a way out of the structures they put up.
Exactly. You want to try to prevent her from escaping, so that's why you have the Odin rings and you have the Cabrakan ultimate. You're trying to not allow her to escape once she does commit into a team fight.
Eager's been messing around with starts a little bit so far, and you can see they're going to start at the blue buff this time around and then go ahead and hit the speed buff. This is really just to counteract any invades that might come out.
And not only that, that puts djpernicus in a position where he'll regroup with the best in the mid lane as soon as possible in this position. And putting Susano in the jungle, I like it because you're utilizing Susano's passive more effectively in that way.
Very interesting. Mask and Denial realized very quickly that the jungler djpernicus wasn't going to go hang out in the solo lane, as is the traditional choreography, I would say. So very quickly, you can see the rotation from Mask come out right to the mid lane. And there's that aggression, Totally. Eager just jumping on each other in the long lane.
And right away, there's no more potions remaining for Vetium. They have been used. However, he is going to have to rely on the sustain coming out of Shadowq on the Guan Yu right now. Throughout the rest of the laning phase, it will be pretty good. They have a shell on Guan Yu, no meditation, but it should be enough for the early parts of the game.
Yeah, the Guan heal definitely provides a lot. And in this world where you don't have the death toll or the Devo gloves early on, you really don't have a lot of that sustain that we're used to seeing. So god choices like Odin in this long lane actually benefit and do a very good job at pushing the opponent out. It's really up to Denial to manage that Guan Yu very well.
The bird bomb jump combo from the Odin is going to be able to clear the way very efficiently. The only thing that they have to watch out for is upon landing whether or not the Artemis is going to instantly snap trap and then try to find the poke afterwards, because your shield's down, so therefore you're going to be taking a little bit of poke.
Not just the shield, but the jump. That's the one, I wouldn't say the problem with Odin, that's why I like Odin, is because you're going to go all in and do a ton of damage, but you have to utilize all of your tools in order to pull that off.
And just like that, the Spirit Ball is delaying the 2 members from Denial, while djpernicus in the backhand side is stealing away the back left Harpies, already going to put himself in a really good position.
What a nice Spirit Ball from TheBest as well. He's got to guess and foretell 2 dashes coming out from the Nemesis, and then lands a Spirit Ball almost at center. Great stuff coming out from TheBest. He's been really strong all split.
And Divios right now, he has a purple pot with Mark of the Vanguard, so it's a little bit of a hybrid mix, but he's going to get ganked here.
He's going to get the stun onto Mask, a big chunk of damage going the way of the jungler. And yeah, the Mark of the Vanguard is almost required on the Cabrakan due to the nature of the way he clears. He's going to go ahead and wind up accidentally hitting you, or if you're the opponent, honestly, you kind of want to walk into the damage from Tremors to trigger the minions to attack him. So that flat damage reduction will stop a lot of the incoming damage from the minions.
The Tremors does find the aggro, and you want to mitigate as much archer and melee damage by getting Mark of the Vanguard. Also, sitting inside the Tremors with the Cabrakan having the purple pot is going to do a lot of damage as well, so you have to respect that fact.
Yeah, we see this occasionally on supports that, not anymore, but we used to see this occasionally on supports that wanted to jump in, like a Sobek or other gods that find themselves behind the enemy archers and minions because you're anticipating all of that little poke. And the way that Mark of the Vanguard works, instead of just providing protections, it reduces all of the incoming attacks by a flat amount, which is actually surprisingly effective.
Especially against when you're receiving multiple volleys of archers. If you're facing a god that has a lot of damage over time, like an Ares, for example, Anubis, whatever the case is, that's a lot of ticks that you're mitigating with just that one 800 gold item.
Eager going to get aggressive and start walking into Denial's area. You see the jump come down and 2 ultimates, one from the mage and one from the Odin and one for the best. He picks up first blood, looking at Zapman, going for the aggression. Nice dodge at a Shadowq, and it'll save his life. Can't say the same for the best as Mask answers back in the jungle. Zapman chases out Guan Yu, but he'll find the kill.
1-for-1 trade, both mid laners falling. However, Xenotronics does fall first, so first blood going to Eager. I like the jukes out of Shadowq, just utilizing the Shadowq jukes, and it's against his old teammate Zapman as well. I like the idea that Xenotronics had, trying to save Shadowq in that position. Unfortunately, taking his own portal with his ultimate, and then having to portal himself back out. Shadowq took that portal, so Xenotronics was stuck inside that Odin cage.
Smart play coming out from Benji. We just see he was forced to use the ultimate, and at first you're just sort of like, hey, why did he use the ultimate there? But you can see Benji, he had the vision on the other players from Eager coming in onto his side of the jungle. If he's stuck in that little corridor, Divios goes ahead and ults. All of a sudden, it's a spot that the Osiris can't get out of. So choosing to use the ultimate before he's in trouble rather than during it.
And now Osiris is not going to have that blue buff for the rest of this laning phase. He's not going to have the poke that's necessary to try to deal. You're an Osiris that wants to be a bully, but without that blue buff, you can't really efficiently be a bully. And Divios has a slight lead now as a result.
And again, talking about the ripple effect, Eager take the pressure that they find in the solo lane. They're able to push that into the enemy jungle, steal what we just saw, and then resulting in the 3 elementals going the way of Eager as well.
So slowly but surely, Eager, whether it's the mid lane, the jungle, or the solo, they're all getting a little bit of an advantage. On Divios, for example, he had the purple pot purchase, so he is, even though he is ahead, you always have to take into consideration that 450 gold that will be off the table shortly.
It's very interesting because Eager, they got the first blood and Denial was able to answer back, but the game is separated by much more than the 500 of first blood, or even less because of the return kill. It's really just coming out of the efficiency that we're seeing from Eager.
The left lane, the way the Odin and the Apollo were playing the levels 2 through 4 specifically, Odin always jumping in and the Apollo able to get off his passive, constantly hitting the wave, is just going to be able to out-clear Denial here.
This is the kind of game you want to take notes of if you want to improve onto going from an already high-level player to an even higher-level player. It's all these small things that we're seeing, the elemental push over in the solo lane, all these small things that Eager are doing to amass a tiny lead.
And that's how you have to play right now in this situation where you are such a high-caliber team. You have to look for any little thing that'll get you an advantage within the game.
Especially knowing that DreamHack's around the corner. Eager right now, they're facing off against a number 5 team, right? But once you're at DreamHack, once you're at LAN, not only are you in front of all those people and on stream and this, that, and the third, but you're playing against a team that's considered one of the best in the world.
And despite Denial being classified as a number 5 team, they've been playing as if they're clearly the top 3, being able to split with Eager. Splitting also against Enemy, I believe, as well. It's just back and forth between them against Luminosity as well.
Here's a question for you. If you think if Denial had Mask and, you can't just add the people, but if Denial was playing the game that they're playing now from the beginning of the season, are they a DreamHack team?
If the speed buff was there at the beginning of the season, Mass was there at the beginning of the season, there was no roster changes between Mass going into Envy, and it was a consistent
this
thing.
team right here in week 10, they're week 1.
I would say yes, that Denial would have a very good opportunity, that they would be very close to 3rd.
Right now, they're close to death. As you can see, Eager locks the cage around Shadowq's Guan Yu. Clever portal coming out from the mage, allowing the support to walk out. Really like that portal from Xeno.
It's very important to utilize any little advantage that you can, whether it's offensively or defensively. As Xenotronics playing very defensive-minded right there, recognizing that Shadowq had nowhere to go within the cage, but bailed them out with a portal. Beautifully done.
And it was an interesting angle as well. You very rarely are going to think that walking towards the enemy is going to put you in a safer spot, but that portal was exactly what Shadowq needed to get it. Honestly, I don't think he's dead anyway, but as you said, it's all about just finding all those small little wins, and I really enjoyed that portal.
And it's funny, when you mentioned that going into sometimes will be a factor that can be just unexpected. Sometimes when you're juking an ability, the enemies are gonna expect you to run away from the ability, but if you juke into them, then that catches them off guard sometimes.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot, specifically against Hercules, and a little bit with the Osiris as well, but Osiris will make you fight for it because of the tether, right? You'll try to avoid the Judgment Swirl, and then the tether comes out and you go, well, now I'm closer to you. That's not really what I wanted to do anyway.
The Hercules pull, yeah, if you're like basically trying to juke it side to side, it's better to actually go into them than to try to run away.
Now that targeter, very, very small. Different story when it comes to the Artemis, though. Can drop that trap really whenever she wants. Divios still fighting against Benji here, 1v1. A little bit of a lead going for Divios, but not too much. I like that Benji isn't afraid to just keep on keeping on. He's taking these fights, and he's able to trade ultimate for ultimate.
And right now, Divios not going to get ganked right now. There is no commitment. Susano is right around the corner. djpernicus was waiting for the gank to happen so he can find the more efficient counter gank. Just taking a little bit of poke, however, Masked with the shield's going to reflect some damage.
So DJ did a little bit of damage there. Looks like the second incursion onto Divios right here. Gets the slow, his Mask. Not going to find the follow-up damage.
Doesn't really matter if they commit to Divios right now, because in this situation, if Divios gets Nemesis ultied, he'll just pop his steroid ability, which is going to make him immune to slows anyway, and he's just going to run away, and there's nothing that Denial can do about it.
So the jungler's now about level 10, level 11, half a level separate the two. And you can see djpernicus a little bit ahead. Everything all even in the jungle. DJ's building into a more defensive item here, likely to be a shield. What can you tell us about Susano and where he really peaks? Because right now he doesn't seem to be early like Thanatos. DJ's staying away from these fights.
It's more about the rest of his team, because he can set up his team with the mobility and finding the pull with his second ability to allow the Isis to find nice CC, to allow the Odin to catch somebody even more out of position. So once this mid game starts rolling around the corner, the way Eager's team fights are going to pan out is they're going to try to find somebody out of position and then just blow them up.
So DJ's looking to siphon somebody into the nonsense that Aror and Divios put down, while the best and Zapman just kind of skirt around doing what they can. That's really the game plan for Eager. Whereas on the other side for Denial, it's a little bit more, let's say, brute force. Mask is going to ult somebody, and everybody's going to ult that person, and they're going to hopefully die.
And just like that, Shadowq just trying to trade with djpernicus right now. He does have sustain, so this will favor Denial. Here comes the blink ult from Aror.
There's the ring around everybody. Knockup is strong from djpernicus. Can't find the damage onto Mask, however. Already very low is DJ, half HP. Up on the horse is going to be the support for Denial. And there's the Isis ultimate, the heal up Eager. Very important play coming out from the best. The turnaround can be happening, but it doesn't look like it's going to be. Zapman chased out, DJ chased out. Meditation not going to be enough, but Vetium gets hit by the ultimate and hit by the Zapman. Vetium's going to fall right there. Zapman, very low HP, finds the second kill onto the jungler, and it's all because of Divios creating a fantastic spot to separate the team from his teammates. Benji does teleport on the backhand side and take out Zapman, but now it's 1v2. The best is under tower. It's 1v2 successfully as Benji winds up with a second kill.
Perfect timing from Benji to clean up. However, nice purification coming out of Xenotronics, preventing the slow. However, Benji not having his ultimate available, caught in the tremors. He should be falling victim as well. Unstable Vortex almost connecting. However, Aror does fall as well.
3 kills for Benji in this exchange right now. Divios going to give a chase as DJ finds an exit on the right-hand side. The slow, not going to be good enough, and there's a hit. Divios finds Benji, but it's too late. 3 kills going in the way of the solo lane Osiris off of a single rotation.
That was such a long, drawn-out engage. I believe at the end of all that, when the dust has settled, that was a 4 for 3 in the favor of Eager, as they were able to, it might be even more if Zap can find Shadowq here.
Yeah, Zap really wants Shadow. Shadow wants no part of it, just going to run underneath the tower.
Just like that. Did proc the wing blade as well. Once you do use your dash as Apollo, not only does it boost yourself in the movement speed, it also slows the enemy, and sometimes people can use that to your advantage, and in that situation, it proc the wing blade of the Guan Yu.
Rough stuff for Eager there. Zapman winds up with an excellent play, or Zapman winds up with a double kill off of an excellent play from Divios, I should say. He did a fantastic job at zoning the enemy, using the long time that Tremors, you can just put it out for as long as you want, using that to complete area denial around those mid-harpies. but then Osiris showed up.
The zoning was really good from Divios, but then the back line, Benji was doing the same exact thing was Divios was doing. Zapman was able to know exactly how much damage he could take, taking the Unstable Vortex to the face, still surviving with 1% health. He's not afraid to fight with 1% health if he knows he has people around him to back him up.
Yeah, it was all calculated, and then there was the outside variable that really just took Zapman down, the Benji from the back out of nowhere. 3 kills in that one engagement, man. Very successful.
It's very important to find those kills because he was a little bit behind earlier on, so now this puts him in a position where he could still keep up with Divios, and he's still an important factor. Eager is slightly ahead right now, but no real objectives taken off the board quite yet.
Aurora looking to stay aggressive. You can see the shield popped already. Threatening denial. It's so interesting how much just that popping the ability without jumping, how it just causes everybody to scatter.
Well, he's thinking about blinking in as well. He's thinking about popping that shield, blinking in, finding the nice ulti. Divios is thinking about flanking, however.
He's going to come from the right-hand side. 3 players from Denial in mid. 1 separated a little bit. There's Xenotronics getting in trouble. A lot of damage on him. The ultimate will chase him out. Zapman going to go fishing. He's looking for the mage. There's the second portal. Nothing available. Zapman lands not just yet. Lands right on top. Reads the second portal. Well done for the Hunter on Eager. No surprise here.
Beautiful patience from Zapman, having that ability very high as well. Having the mana not as high compared to previous patches allows you to stay in the air longer, and Zapman taking full advantage.
And Aurora's going to take advantage in the mid lane. You can see Mask in some trouble. Half HP already. Shield is down. There's the damage. He pops out the ultimate, and Shadowq is able to find a kill before DJ does. 1 for 1 so far, but remember, Xeno's dead from the past excursion. Right on the left-hand side, you can see 2 on 2. Tremors are down. 1's going to fall for djpernicus. 3 surrounding 1. Shadowq trying to get out. The slow and the mez are strong. Still finding the basics is Zapman, but one more time. Benji from the backside. DJ going to chase Shadow all the way to a tier 2, and then meet up with Benji. Ulted and gone. Zapman with number 9 for Eager.
Beautiful team fight from Eager. If they didn't find that Janus pick earlier on, that surely would have been in Denial's favor. The sustain from the Guan was really solid. The flank, yet again, from Benji was good as well, finding Aror in the backline. However, Eager were just playing so far together. It was so perfect. Aror taking Benji away from the fight, finding the pick onto Xeno, allowed Eager to really capitalize on that.
Exactly. Eager adjusted and adapted to the fact that Benji got behind them the last time. First time, Benji comes and cleans up 3 kills, gets out, and then eventually dies on the outside. This time around, Eager are aware. They're saying, hey, all right, there's 3 players here. We killed Xeno. Benji's going to look for our backside. So where is he? Aror, keep your eye out. Aror distanced himself, kept that in mind, and then they were able to turn around collapse on Denial solo. Well done by Eager.
Even though that Denial did find the best in that exchange, he still found a good enough time to buy enough time for the rest of his team to clean up. Absorbed a lot of damage with the circular protection from the Isis, as Benji's going to just trade some poke.
Yeah, just going to take some poke here. Divios more interested in the farm than anything else. You see the back coming out from djpernicus, building into that void shield. Certainly wants to be a little bit more control-oriented. You can see him sitting right in the middle of that player damage on the player damage chart. But really, it's 2 separate tiers. You've got sort of like your support guys, the Nemesis, the Odin, who's more support than damage right now, right? And then you've got your true damage dealers up on top. Divios, Zapman, Benji, etc.
There's a lot of damage for both teams right now at this game. Compared to the first game that they played the last time these 2 teams met, they were 5-3 up until the 35-minute mark. And now 15 minutes, they've already surpassed that with flying colors. Already 9-6 in the favor of Eager.
Zapman surpassed a whole bunch. Look at him right now, level 18, 3.5 levels above his opposition. The Artemis only level 14 for Vetium. Zapman right now is a higher level than his solo laner by 2. I mean, really, this didn't just come from Zapman making a cool play against Xenotronics over in the right jungle. Where did this lead amass from?
It's just the mobility that Apollo has with his go, but he was able to rotate to the mid lane quite heavily. Also, just having the dash allows you to move a lot faster. Granted, Artemis also has a movement speed steroid as well, but the Apollo is just slightly more efficient to go into the mid lane.
Benji looking to chase down Divios. Standard stuff coming out from our 2 solo laners. Just want to battle it out. Try to chase everybody back to base, and we'll see both players opt for the fountain.
And like you mentioned, because Zapman is so far ahead, this kind of puts TheBest a little bit further behind Xenotronics. And now it looks like Denial was thinking of starting up the Gold Fury. I'm surprised both teams haven't been even trying to bait each other out at the Gold Furies so far.
Yeah, we haven't seen any Gold Fury rotations just yet. This is going to be the first look that teams take towards the Giant Harpy. Nobody really has been paying it much mind, which is, I don't want to say it's it's interesting, but not for these particular teams. It's been pretty meta for a lot of the teams to start looking for like 5 or 6 minute Gold Furies. This time around, with Denial, they've had some problems with Objective Secure in the past, and Eager have seemed more intent on fighting the team fights than anything else.
A lot of teams this split have been looking for these earlier Gold Furies, like you mentioned. In the first game that they played, Denial got a Gold Fury around the 7.5 minute mark, and now it's already 17.5 minute mark, and neither team wants to even try the Gold Fury. There's a lot of area of effect control, whether it's Aror, whether it's TheBest. So both teams just respecting that. Aror can easily use his ulti to zone out Guan Yu.
The ultimate from Xenotronics is not going to be good enough. You can see that the Gold Fury went the way of Eager. Well played, thanks to the Isis ultimate, one of the oldest tricks in the book when it comes to securing the Gold Fury.
Divios just going to split push on the right-hand side. Looks like Denial wanted to find something in return for that Gold Fury. Whenever you lose Gold Fury and you see that ultimates were used trying to secure that, you, as the opposing team, have to take advantage of that somehow, and that's exactly what Denial are doing.
And Zapman and the team are going to go ahead and give up the Tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. No problem whatsoever. Not only does that 500 gold pale in comparison to the amount of gold that the team was able to get from the Gold Fury, but also, as we mentioned, Divios had been pushing up on the right-hand side the entire time. So essentially, Tier 1 for Tier 1 traded out, plus Eager got a Gold Fury.
The Gold Fury was really important. Unfortunately, TheBest couldn't find the stun onto Benji, who was teleporting to that Tier 2 tower. Divios was doing a very good job trying to find that Tier 2 tower. Unfortunately, Benji had other thoughts.
Yeah, it looks like Divios is going to get chased out of there real quick. As we take a break, the Susano hasn't really had too much of an impact from where I'm sitting. Where is Susano really? I mean, you mentioned before he's really looking more for the setup. Where will we actually see the Susano make that hard impact?
Right now, whenever the Janus goes in a portal, if he can find the jet stream onto the Janus as he's leaving the portal, he can easily chase down the Janus. Eager also has Apollo, so these two gods are really good at chasing the Janus through portals.
So DJ is it's more about the mobility that Susano brings than anything else. Less about the damage and just more about DJ's ability to really rotate the map and be omnipresent is what you're looking for.
He's going to disrupt the team fight, finding the pull, using his ultimate to do a lot of damage, knocking some people up. And then from there, he's going to be able to basically just be a huge impact. You run around any which way that he can, try to be like, hey, look at me, guys. Come chase me, even though I have all this mobility.
Yeah, djpernicus has always been a player that really enjoys the nonsense that comes from mobility, and you can see right here, Auror's going to get aggressive real quick. 3 members from Denial stuck in the cage, and there's the ultimate out of everybody else. Isis right on top of himself. Tusky comes out, Vetium not going to be enough, finds the portal out, but Eager take their aggression very nicely and push Denial out of their own jungle.
And now Denial wants to counter-engage here. Shadowq is going to go into the horse. Auror's going to try to zone as much as he can. Shadowq going to get stunned out. He's going to be the first victim of this team fight.
And Best winds up with number 10 on the board for Eager. And you can see the blue squad just pushing Denial back up into the mid lane. Now going to group up as 5 and clear. Head right up back here. Looking for a Tier 1 tower, it looks like. Eager's going to clear out these minions real quick. Aror still leading the pack. Aror and Divios certainly the front line for this team. And Denial look like they want to pose a defensive maneuver here. But DJ shows up, and there's no such thing.
There's no way that they can really defend this Tier 2 tower. Level 20 on the Apollo with red buff right now is going to do a lot of damage to this tower.
Mask is going to ult on the backhand side. Zapman gets taken down to 40% HP, but the rest of Eager going to protect him. The Best now taking the tower for everybody else. Aurora picks up aggro, and the Tier 2 tower falls. Now Benji in some trouble. You can see the Spirit Wings coming out from the Isis, and Zapman putting the bullets into Mask's face. Shadowq taking some poke from Divios. But Eager got what they came for, folks. They got a Tier 1. They got a Tier 2. That's 2,000 gold in their pockets. And they're going to walk right into Denial's jungle. 7,000 gold in the lead.
That's a really nice lead that they have currently at the almost 21-minute mark right now. Level 20 onto Zapman. Divios about to hit level 20 right now. A lot of gold in hand currently for Aurora and Divios, so they're going to go ahead and back to base. Gold Fury is going to respawn in about a minute and a half. However, they have to be careful against Denial. They're very good objectively as well. Giving up the Fire Giant would be very troublesome for Eager, so they're going to have at least somebody behind to watch for that.
Yeah, Best just tossed a ward down on top of the Fire Giant to look out exactly what you're talking about. Here, the left-hand side Harpies. Going to be aggressive on Denial, and DJ wants to get aggressive. This time around, there's the ultimate, and Xeno gets trunked. And here comes Aurora. Jump on top. See you later, Xenotronics. Shadowq in some trouble as well. Zapman going to land on him. Divios gets final credit for the kill. 2 dead already. Very, quick picks coming out from Eager.
This is the staple Zapman that I know, making these aggressive calls in the 2v2 situations like, hey, hide around this corner, we're going to engage. And then the team fight presence for the rest of Eager to follow up and collapse in the mid lane. Beautiful rotation from Aror, finding that ultimate, and Zapman just knows when to go all in.
And this is the perfect call coming out from Eager. If Denial choose to engage and fight, it's 5-on-3 and they lose. If Denial choose to leave, it's a free Fire Giant for Eager and they lose. So now it looks like a little bit of showing from Denial. Divios by himself holding off 3. There's the ultimate from Isis. Fire Giant goes to wave Eager. And now everybody on Denial gonna walk away.
Just because of that 5v3 advantage, Eager was able to get that. If Benji showed around the corner and actually committed, he might have been able to steal that with his ultimate. However, that could have been troubled with his death as well. If he doesn't find the Fire Giant and loses his own life, then that's going to give Eager a huge advantage.
Exactly. I mean, Eager, it all came from that call by the mid Harpies, honestly. Whether it was DJ or Zapman, right? The pull came on to Xeno, chased him out completely, and Zapman just took to the sky. Not saving the ultimate futility, not waiting to split push, not waiting to really come back from the grave after dying, just looking directly for the kill. And that hyper-aggression coming out from Eager that we have seen tailored a little bit here shows off and comes out successful for Eager.
Now, whether that was the jungler or the hunter, they also have very similar mindsets of how they want to play. They're both very aggressive when they know they need to be. So the fact that they're able to make these plays together shows just how far they've come along since the beginning of the season. They have a lot of synergy working together, and this is what we expect of a team that is of this high caliber out of Eager.
And that's what makes Eager so much fun to watch, in my opinion, is their aggression and watching it pay off. Because so when you watch somebody be aggressive and it doesn't pay off, it's really easy to call them bad. But when you watch somebody play passive and that's the reason they lose, it's harder to see that, honestly. So aggressive players and aggressive teams get more flack than the passive ones.
You have to be looking for the plays, and so is Shadowq as he's going to find the cavalry charge. Zapman's going to walk right on outside, and he should be fine.
Vetium will drop the boar as well, so a lot of ultimates expended for Denial. Benji the only one still there, and with the best popping, Divios the only one with his, as well as Zapman on the side of Eager. You can see Divios just going to push players out. And Denial now, with the Guan, they have the upper hand when it comes to these extended engagements. But with the Fire Giant, that might counteract a bit.
And right there, Shadowq having a lot of sustain. However, Eager having the Fire Giant sustain is going to allow them to keep on pushing right now. This Phoenix is going to finally fall after all the relics, and a lot of ultimates were used as well.
Eager pick up the left Phoenix, now heading right over to the mid. Group up in the jungle, one by himself, and you can see it's Divios, but there's a great stun through the wall from TheBest. It's going to chase one of the players all the way out. Shadowq has to go all the way to the fountain.
There's a lot of CC for Eager right now. You have the Susano pull, you have the Spirit Ball, and the Silence from TheBest. Obviously, Divios has 2 stuns as well, and the Tremors. They have the area of effect control between Aror and Divios. Just the amount of structures that they can put out as well makes it very difficult for Denial to not only engage, but to disengage as well.
Eager make the correct decision here, or intelligent decision. There's always many correct decisions in Smite, but Eager make a very intelligent decision here. Rather than just siege up the mid lane going for the Phoenix, because as I mentioned, that Guan Yu on Shadowq is going to give the advantage over Denial, they just shift over to the right lane. They said, okay, you want to defend against the Phoenix? We'll take the tower.
And Denial were trying to find something in return. Janus used through space and time, trying to find the Gold Fury. However, Eager did the Gold Fury before that whole siege. So, like you mentioned, it was a very calculated decision not to go for Phoenixes after towers. And now Eager, knowing like, hey, if our Phoenix siege fails, Denial would get this Gold Fury. So we're like, okay, before we start sieging, let's pick up the Gold Fury. Let's get these towers. Let's get a Phoenix. And we're going to reset. We're going to spend all our gold in hand and set up for the next Fire Giant.
Yeah, Eager's been playing this match very intelligently, and I think that's been the story for the last quarter of the split, I would say. I think early in the split, the story was, wow, look at Zapman go. And then at the mid of the split, it was really watching these players come together, most notably djpernicus, who started off the season a little bit slower. Everybody sort of came together, and their aggression was a little less calculated. Now, in the final moments of the split, heading towards DreamHack, we're seeing these intelligent calls coming out, coupled with the hyper-aggression, and that's creating a very scary team.
The leadership has increased their comfortability between the players, as well as the speed buff, allowing djpernicus to be more comfortable, again, in the jungle position. He's very good with the speed buff, specifically having the mobility, as we do see an engage from Aror.
Auror's going to blink on in, chasing Xenotronics out a long way to the right-hand side. The ring is out, nobody's caught, but Zapman certainly is. He's very close to death, and Benji's going to force it. 1 dead on the side of Eager, still 5 alive for Denial. djpernicus very low, he's going to be pushed out. and Xenotronics makes sure that Cabrakan has to leave as well. So Eager try to push up on the mid Phoenix, but Denial successfully defend. And they only lose one, however, they being Eager.
And now Divios caught in a really awkward position, going to be 1v3, forcing the Purification out of Xenotronics, and he's going to get slowed. Aror trying to bail him out with the best in the stun as well. Divios looks like he's going to be able to get away.
I'm not too sure about that one, Tollies, and I'll have him completely surrounded. Divios trying to get one before he falls. djpernicus is able to clean up Vetium after the chunk coming out from the solo lane, but Xenotronics also falls to the best. So Denial try to catch Divios, but he's just a little bit tankier than they had originally anticipated. Breastplate of Valor, some additional protections coming out from the helm, and then of course a decent amount of HP from that Gem of Isolation. So a lot of nonsense going on the side of Divios, and also you can see it on cooldown. It's the golden pair, as Dry Bear would say. The Mantle of Discord is a very, very fun item to have on somebody tanky like that.
And now, not only did they trade Divios for Xenotronics, they also found the relics on top of that. Yep. The Sanctuary is down, the Purification is down on Xenotronics, as well as Vishian being dead as well. So right now, Eager having an advantage with Zapman using his ultimate to get back around Fire Giant. Eager can easily force a Fire Giant in this 4v3 situation, as well as Divios coming back online. He does have teleport available to him, so he could come back here right away.
That was the quintessential situation that you want the Mantle of Discord in. That's exactly what happens when three players surround you and the stun you're able to capitalize off of. The fight over the Fire Giant's a different story. Benji jumps on in, doesn't confirm it. Xenotronics confirms Zapman. Fire Giant goes to wave Eager, and the Divios is going to face off against Mask, who dashes away, and now it's all DJ versus Denial. Here comes Aror dropping the cage, and the wall's dropped by Divios. That's an excellent play coming out from Eager, making sure to separate their team from the opposition.
And now Divios says, surprise, surprise, come back into the team fight, djpernicus, as he pulls Xenotronics for another kill, as Mask is going to shield away some damage. Auror's looking for the kill. djpernicus using the jet stream, and that's going to be another kill onto Shadowq so far. Eager getting the Fire Giant, only losing Zapman, however, getting those 2 picks as well. Now they're going to be able to siege his middle and left Phoenix easily.
DJ looks really comfortable on this Susano, and you know, there's been a lot of talk about how strong this god is, and it's not the damage that's really impressing me with DJ. It's his ability to really find those teleports, find the ultimates for the knockups, and some of the more finer points about Susano. It's really impressing me with djpernicus. And judging his performance on the old Rat before it was remade, I think I understand why. These high mobility, decent control characters really seem to fit DJ's playstyle.
He likes to be he wants to make plays, and whenever you have mobility on any god, specifically with speed buff, with obviously a passive that gives you movement speed, it's going to favor that player specifically. So djpernicus favoring the Susano greatly.
Eager now, half hour into this matchup, as we see djpernicus aggress on him. Mask going to be met up with somebody else. He's going to walk away, 1v3, now in some trouble. Here comes Divios. There's the combo. There's the ultimate. And the Tremors, not enough to take out Mask. Finds the double dash on the backside. And the entirety of Denial is here. djpernicus very close to death. And just to ensure it is, Benji winds up with the kill. Zapman takes a look, decides he doesn't want to be involved, and DJ falls for nothing.
Sometimes when you want to make a play, you'll want to make a play too badly by yourself. 3 members from Eager were doing Gold Fury, while Aror was trying to save, Divios was trying to save djpernicus in that situation, wasn't able to save his life, and now Eager's Fire Giant Siege might be delayed a little bit, having a 4v5 disadvantage.
A little bit. We've got 30 seconds on djpernicus, and with 30 minutes on the clock, Eager leading by 7 kills, 27 in total here today, folks, and as far as the gold is concerned, very much in Eager's favor. Right. Up by over 10,000 gold.
And because Denial was able to hold their left Phoenix at the beginning in a 5v5 situation, I'm sure Eager's going to be thinking of that scenario.
Divios in some trouble. Ultimate from the Nemesis on top, but Aror with the perfect cage. Going to lock the Best and all his friends in. Zapman finds Vetium. Mask answers back and takes out Best, but Eager's still definitely on the upper hand. It's shifted. Denial now have the numbers and the positioning. Very low is Xenotronics, and Divios looking to confirm it. Zapman finds kill number 7. That's 7, 3, and 5 for the Hunter. Eager still surging forward. Mask very low. Double dash gets him out. Now everybody's looking at Shadowq. Zapman takes out his old support. And Eager is going to look towards the rest of the wave. Look towards Benji. and Zapman going to focus on the Phoenix to take this mid lane bird.
Now, even though they were down 4v5, they still had Firejohn and Eager still focused in the middle Phoenix, despite Divios finding 2 inside the Tremor. Zapman going to find another kill on top of Benji, and this should be the Titan for the first game favoring Eager.
And this was one of those situations, Tully, that was completely opportunistic. Eager did not wind up in that position in the mid lane looking for a push onto the Titan. Eager looked to allow somebody to escape. Aror jumped in, got the cage down, locked a couple of folks in, and then all of a sudden, Zapman kept chewing through people. Divios found a burst down. Now all of a sudden, 2 people on Denial are dead. We can get this Phoenix. They're sticking around. 2 more people are dead. We can get this Titan. Zapman and Eager wind up with game number 1.
So there's an interesting strategy that Zapman has implemented ever since he started playing Smite. It's called tactical feeding. And at the end there, djpernicus, even though he did die, he did bait out a lot of cooldowns. So it's just taking a page out of Zap's book.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but at the end of the day, I don't think DJ intended on dying there. I don't think that was the game plan from the get-go.
You never know with DJ.
But as you said, a lot of the options that Denial had to them to really counteract what Eager wanted to do were gone off the table because they regressed onto DJ earlier. And then, as I said, just opportunistic kills coming the way of Eager. Fantastic stuff. And really, speaking of opportunistic, flash sale. You've got one more game. At the end of this game, it's over. But for now, $10 shirts, $12 hats, livebnfd.com. You can go ahead and pick up some stuff. Everything else on the site as well, as far as the Smite is concerned, is 75% off. So you definitely want to check that site out and get you some gear. We're going to move it.